Heyo YouTube, Flowcat here. Welcome to today's video. Now, I do want to give you a little warning. I'm going to get pretty passionate today. I may even get a bit angry because this is something that I care an awful lot about. And I think that I've hit the end of my rope. I'm done with it. I'm done with executives destroying the gaming industry. Specifically, what I'm talking about here is that executives keep pushing to have games released way before they're ready. I'm talking at times a year or more before they're ready. And these executives seem to have no clue how bad this is for the gaming industry as a whole. All they seem to care about is making their quarterly goals and releasing things when they feel that it should be done based on stock prices and competition and all sorts of other things. Now you may be wondering, okay, but why are you making a video about this now all of a sudden? Well, specifically this year, I just kind of hit the end of my rope. I've seen too many games come out that had a lot of potential that could have been just amazing on launch, come out as just sad, buggy, unoptimized messes. And I'm fed up with it. Fed up with it. And I also have a platform now, so it's something that I can use to speak about the things that I care about. So the gaming industry has been moving in a bad direction for quite a few years now. And primarily, I feel that a lot of it has to do with corporate executive greed, marketing, and pre-orders. If you're also super upset about the state of the gaming industry and you want to do something about it, keep watching, because there's a really simple thing we can do as gamers to affect market forces to make the gaming situation a bit more safer for us as consumers. But before we get into the solution to this madness, I want to discuss exactly what is going on here that makes this such a dangerous situation for us as consumers. Back in my day, the limits of advertising were immense. And for video games especially, there really wasn't much companies could do to market their game other than show maybe some screenshots in a magazine. But when gaming was in its infancy and there wasn't as much marketing potential for the entire business and telecommunication technology wasn't nearly as advanced as it is now, the situation that we were about to discuss was not even a possibility. And as you probably know, the more profitable an industry gets, the more executives swarm to it like parasites to suckle off of those profits. They're like mosquitoes in a murky bog swarming around, stealing the life force from whatever poor animal happens to wander their way. And unfortunately, the executives in the gaming industry have figured out a very effective strategy to suck the lifeblood out of all of us. And you see, the strategy is quite simple. All they have to do is lie with their marketing and present a game that does not exist, and then accept pre-order monies from all the excited consumers. And when the game comes out, it's nothing like they said it was going to be. Now, of course, if you're trying to defend the rich, which is very cringe, you may be thinking, but Flowcat, you can return the game. If they lie to you, it's your right as a consumer to return the game and get your monies back. And while that mostly is the case, the sad reality is that businesses care about one thing and one thing only: money. So essentially what executives do is they compare situations and they figure out which situation gives them the most money. Regardless of anything else, they go for it. And since executives and companies only care about money, they will do anything, no matter the consequences, to get that money. So let's jump into the shoes of an executive for a second. What we're going to be doing today is extremely hard work that executives unfortunately have to put themselves through quite often. So get ready for this trying task. We're going to create a wager table, and whichever option makes us the most money, we do it, no matter what. So the way a wager table works is you essentially set up a variety of situations. In this case, we're going to have a situation where companies allow pre-orders, and then we're going to have a situation where companies do not allow pre-orders. So what we're going to do here is create a wager table. So we have a box, and we're going to make some lines in this box. And now we have to create our wager. All right, so here we are. And we have our wager table, and then we have two situations. right here. We have the situation where executives decide, yeah, let's accept pre-orders for our product and hype it to all heavens. Or we have the situation here where it's like, no, let's not lie through marketing and let's just let the consumers decide for themselves on the release of the actual game whether they would like to purchase it or not. And then we have to have our outcome section here. So, all right, and now we have our outcomes, where the outcome is that it's a good game, or the outcome is that it's a bad game. And now here's the fun part. Here's truly the exciting bits of this wager table. We are going to go through each quadrant here, and we're going to decide what happens when decisions collide with outcomes. In the category where we accept pre-orders and it releases and it's a good game, then it's good. Money made. Safe and sound. In the situation where we accept pre-orders and it's a bad game, well, let's say 70 to 80% of people refund and we make 20 to 30% final sales. Let's go to the category where it's a good game and there are no pre-orders. Good, money made. You get reviews coming out saying the game is great. People go, they buy it, they enjoy it, everybody's happy. But if we have the category where there's no pre-orders and it releases and it's a bad game, well, in that situation, bad, no money made. You see, in this situation, you don't have people's money already, and it's getting bad reviews and it's tanking wildly in the public. So you actually, in this situation, you don't make money. And now what business people do is they don't think about this from the consumer perspective. They don't think about this from the perspective of, how does this affect the market? How does this make consumers feel? Is this bad for consumers? Is this good for consumers? They don't think about that. That's not a part of this wager table. The only thing that matters to executives and to capitalists in these businesses is how much money are they going to make. Now, if you look at these two situations, it is very clear that if they do pre-orders and they release a good game, it's the same either way. If they release a good game, it doesn't matter if they do pre-orders or no pre-orders. And this is where it gets really deceptive, because there are companies that do pre-orders, that do release good games, and that's not an inflammatory situation. But there are companies that take advantage of the pre-order situation in order to release a bad game in a bad state through lack of development time, and they still get 20 to 30% of the sales because only 70 to 80% of the people are going to refund the game. There are going to be a lot of people who are going to buy into the promises of it becoming a better game over time, which may or may not be true, but that is not the job of the consumer to buy an unfinished product and then wait for it to be finished. Now, of course, if they don't do pre-orders and they release a bad game, well, this is the no-go situation for the executives. They view this as a risk they're not willing to take. This is safer for them to do pre-orders, but it's not safer for the consumer. It's not. It's simply not. And unfortunately, executives are able to get away with this through the powers of marketing. You see, marketing is like illusion magic in RPGs, where you use it to daze, confuse, and otherwise manipulate your targets into doing what you wish. And their favorite marketing spell is the one where they daze the consumer with hopes and dreams of a better game, of the game that they've always been waiting for, of being able to do absurd levels of detail, like you'll be able to watch trees grow in real time. Every choice that you make will affect every fiber of your experience. Using fancy language like that and weaving up people's dreams and expectations for a game that simply doesn't exist while they reach around and grab your wallet, stealing all of your money while you're distracted. And I have to admit, it's working. It has been working for a long time, actually. And I'm not gonna lie, I never thought it would get this bad. I never thought that it would reach this level of deception and mismanagement. But unfortunately, it has. And there have been a number of huge examples over the years. We can talk about No Man's Sky or Cyberpunk 2077, where eventually the game is sort of what they originally said it was going to be, but it took a long time and a lot of development to fix those games and to bring them up to speed. And let's be honest, the developers could have just not. They could have just not. And you would think that developers and executives would learn from these situations and these scenarios, but unfortunately, they don't. Because as I said before, they view everything like a wager, like a risk. And to them, moving over to no pre-orders, I mean, they run the risk of releasing a bad game and making zero money from it. So it's always more advantageous for them to do pre-orders and deceptive marketing to ensure that no matter what, they make some money from the game. And that's sort of what I'm getting at here. There's only one thing they care about. It's money. These executives can release as many apology letters as they want. They can say whatever they want. It will not change that fundamental situation. They will not learn on their own. They have to be taught. And so what I'm suggesting is that we bend these executives over and give them a swift smack on the ass. And our method, our paddle that we shall use to beat the bums of these executives is not pre-ordering game. If you're watching this video and you've pre-ordered games recently, stop. Just stop. The thing is, consumers have a ton of market power because without the consumer, these businesses have nothing. We are the fuel. We are the food. Our money is what runs these businesses. And without us, they cannot continue forward. So you may feel like you don't have any power, but that's simply not true. If every gamer on the face of this earth stopped pre-ordering games, just stopped pre-ordering games entirely, if no one did it, companies would have no choice but to stop doing pre-orders and deceptive marketing. It would no longer be worth it to them. So basically, it'll be returning to the good old days before pre-orders and deceptive marketing really took over gaming. And to be honest, I don't even feel like this is a big ask. I mean, unless you're hopelessly addicted to hype and bandwagons, like I know there's a lot of gamers who hop from new game to new game to new game, just feeding off of the new game hype. The second the honeymoon phase is over, they're gone. They're on to the next game. The second a new game comes out, they're on to the next game. And I get it. It's exciting to play new games. It's fun to be at the forefront of gaming releases. I get it. But it wouldn't kill you to wait like a couple days, maybe a week, to see if the game is actually what you think it is. Because as hyped as you may be for a game, or as much as you trust the developers, it's not the developers that are going to screw you. It's the executives. And guess what? They don't care about you. Now, if that doesn't convince you to not pre-order games, then I want to pull another argument out of my behind. And that argument is that pre-ordering is essentially like buying an NFT or like gambling. What I mean by that is when you pre-order a game, you are buying nothing. You are paying for something that does not exist and may not ever exist. And for that reason, it's very much similar to like a gachapon system where you put your money in and you have no idea what you're going to get. Is it going to be a 5-star game? Is it going to be a 1-star game? We don't know because the game is not out and there's no way for us to tell. Now, of course, reviewers do get early access copies, but sometimes even those are deceptive. So really, the only strategy here is to not pre-order games, wait until they are out, and buy the games based on the reviews of the games as they are once they are actually out. So basically, I'm asking you to save yourself money. Just save your money. Just don't spend it. Keep it in your wallet and wait and see. Also, if you are fed up with the same things that I'm ranting about, please share this video to other people and convince your friends to not pre-order games. But yeah, that's basically what this entire video is about. I just think that this is something we can do. This is change that we can affect and something that we can actually do as consumers. We have the power and we simply need to wield it. Okie dokie. Well, I feel like I've pretty much ranted as much as I could. I got all my thoughts out there. If you pre-order games, I'm gonna slap you straight across the face. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. But if you pre-order games, I'm really disappointed in you. So if you like the video. If you have thoughts about this particular topic, let me know. Or at the very least, type your pledge into the comments. Type your pledge to never pre-order a game ever again into the comments to let me know that you have set yourself on the glorious and righteous path of denying rich, corrupt executives their payday. Subscribe to the channel for future gaming meta content, also variety content. I've been branching out from Genshin Impact, which is the game I started with, and I've been exploring streaming other games, and I'm gonna start making more meta content about gaming in general because I have a lot of opinions. I got a lot to say, and honestly, I want my channel to affect positive change in the gaming community. So if I can be a force for positive change and get my opinions out there, rant and rave a little bit, ramble, stream, do all that fun stuff, like I'm happy to, you know what, we're here, we're great. It's good. I'm happy to be here. Anyway, I have my Discord link in the description of the video. You're more than welcome to join. Also will be pinned in the comment. We've got a lot of friendly people in there. And until next time, stay healthy, stay hydrated. Peace.